So I want to make sure I have something perfectly clear here. When we see the sun and it's up clearly above the horizon, hanging out with the clouds, and then we wait a half hour and we see that the sun has now met the horizon with the clouds, you think that's caused because the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles per hour backwards? That's what you think? Interesting. Well, I don't know about you, but I always have to look up to see the clouds. Never meeting the water. Is there a chance, just maybe a possibility, that we've been taught incorrectly about what's going on here? Maybe we should explore further. You know what's strange is that I don't ever remember being taught about perspective in school. I wonder why they wouldn't teach us about perspective and how things appear to shrink and get smaller and lower in your field of vision to the point of a vanishing point where you can no longer see them. I wonder why they wouldn't teach us that. Do you remember learning about that? I don't remember learning about that. I wonder if it's because if we all readily knew how perspective works, that maybe we wouldn't fall for their deceptions. Maybe we would see the sun look like it's moving across the sky and say, maybe it's just moving across the sky instead of believing that we're actually spinning backwards faster than the speed of sound. Maybe if we understood how perspective worked when we saw a phenomenon like this, zooming in on the sun and it still appearing high in the sky, we would understand that you can't possibly zoom in on something behind a curve. There's something else going on here. Maybe if we knew how perspective worked, we would understand when buildings aren't fully visible, it's not because they're behind the curvature of the Earth, but just because of perspective and sometimes atmosphere, which can act as a lens. And if it was behind the curvature of the Earth, well, wouldn't these buildings be angled back a little bit? Well, maybe not here. But instead of being 50 miles away from Chicago, I went 70 miles away. And funny, you do see less of the building, but notice how it's still angled straight up. That's because the waves in the foreground can block entire buildings. Because that's how perspective works, people. There's a reason we didn't learn about it. That's the Willis Tower. It stands at 1,451 feet tall. And where I'm standing, you shouldn't be able to see a building unless it's 3,000 feet tall, regardless of my observer height here. Maybe just like a child knows, the sun is moving, and it's just moving further away and taking its light with it. Either that, or these are some messed up, confused clouds. Maybe they're just looking lower because they're far enough away where they compress to the vanishing point, just like the sun's about to do in a couple minutes. But of course, all this is for entertainment, people. I'm a satire account. I know the Earth is spinning. And these lights definitely appear to go down because of the curvature of the Earth. Entertainment only, people.